Hello, good evening. This is Up and Running. Evening, everyone. Well, the evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you are. It is evening where I am here in sunny UK. Thank you for those that have shared and liked the post already that I did earlier on family contracts. And I just wanted to come on and say hi. I'm here. And I want to thank you all for answering questions that I may have posted and giving your own personal feedback on how things have been over this time. So I have yes, I do have an idea if people are on because I'll see them on the screen. But if you get to watch this on the replay, please leave your comments because I want to engage with you. I want to know where you are, how you're doing, how things are getting on. It is bank holiday weekend coming up here. And I just wanted to say hi and see how I can help you. And it's funny because earlier on, I had sent out the blog post to a few friends and they had mentioned that they've implemented some different types of contracts with their younger children, which are called behavioural contracts, which I will go over because it is embedded within the Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities, parenting components. So, family contracts. Let's start there. And I am hoping that when you get to watch this back, that you'll actually ask some questions and to see how yours goes, because I would like to know how it will go for you. But before I get on too far, I just want to say thank you to Elaine Montgomery for all her support with her website over the years, and to Yvonne Michelle, who has also given me lots of support and encouragement to get on live and post content. We have lots of chats and I want to be able to share that with you. And equally, some of you that are on my page may have in the past completed a parenting program within schools. But as you know, things have changed. Schools are now shut. And even though there's been talk about reopening on the 1st of June, with the massive response that has occurred over this week, it's like a no. And when I've spoken to parents, they've been to me, they don't want to send their child back to school. So it's like for the first time since whenever, I don't know, that actually parents and teachers are on the same page. During this pandemic, it is really about keeping safe, as many have lost their lives. Some of the families are grieving. Even people that I know have been grieving since the start of this pandemic. But while we are here in this time, I believe that we can really do some good, that we can improve our relationships, that we can create better bonds, healthier bonds with our close family, household members, and friends. So, thank you to who's watching. If you've got any comments, please put them in the below, and I will respond to them. So on Sunday, like I said, I decided to do a family contract with my son. And the reason why I decided to do that is because it was one of the quickest, easiest tools that I could think of to hand to really get some outcomes going, to create some goals, to create a vision of how we would like things to be. So we created it in a short time frame. We discussed it on Sunday. We decided to implement it on the Monday and gave ourselves up until Friday to meet the target. I sat down and discussed with my son his views. I discussed my views on what we thought would be the best outcomes for us both. But really, we decided to decorate his room, which I would have given that task to someone else. But you know, the funny thing is, all the resources we have deep within us. And that is one of the NLP NLP presuppositions. The funny thing is, I had all the materials that I needed to get the job done. So we had the wallpaper, we had the wallpaper paste, we had the mural, we had paintbrushes, paint rollers, trays, masking tape, everything that we needed, sander, polyfiller, everything. And sometimes when we're setting out goals, we may think that we don't have all the things together. But if you look deep inside, maybe in your cupboards or anything like that, there are things that you want are already there. It's for us to use them. So got everything ready, ladder, everything, did all the prep work. Now wallpapering, have I done it before? Yes, years ago, and not great. But, you know, I thought, let me look at YouTube to find some videos and see if that could help. Because, you know, going around the windows is very, very challenging. And I was like, gonna have to do it. But what I really enjoyed was that I was able to, you know, work together with my son. We were able to communicate together and support one another on how and where things are to go. And we had breaks, lots of breaks. But after day one, once I'd done the underlay of the wallpapering, my son was like, we got lots done. And I was like, yeah, we have. And he was like, I reckon we can finish it in day two. And I was like, hello. The way that my body was feeling going up and down the ladder, I wasn't too sure because we had set a time frame, which was Monday to Friday. Although you may have completed a lot of your tasks that you want to do in the first day, is there any rush? Well, I was like, I'd rather do a good job, take my time, see how my body's feeling, and take it from there. But the goal was to be met by Friday. Tuesday, got all the painting done, let it dry, very happy. The next day, because I was well impressed with the blue, you know, I'd done really well on picking that colour. And he said blue, I picked blue, he liked the blue. Now I see I have some comments there, thank you. So we have Sharon Fevre, hello Sharon, thank you for your support. Yvonne, Michelle, lots of love. Good evening, yes, good evening, good evening. So, day two, that's day two. Day three was the day to get the mural up. Now, you know, when you've got lots of different panels and each one has something different on it and it needs to match, well, sometimes this is for me. Being visually impaired, I do find that I go over things a little bit too much. A lot of people send things for me to read because they're like, if I can read it, then anybody else can. But so I wanted to make sure that I got all the panels like right and aligned, and we were there looking and checking to see if it was all done, and it was. And I was experiencing a lot of high fives. You know, when you're just tapping that high five, I experienced quite a lot of those during our transition of getting my son's room done. And every time we touched, it was just like we were anchoring the experience of it being from nothing to an idea to implementing it, getting it done, and having the review of the outcomes. As you can see, I put some steps in the blog post, which I'd like you to read. And there's 7 simple steps of getting your family contract implemented. Now, you can choose any area that you might want to implement a family contract. That's going to help you. And the purpose is to create bonds, relationships, communication, open up the pathways, change your environment, make something look better or different from what it was. It doesn't have to be decorating a room. It could be anything. I will be doing another contract. I'll tell you that. And the next contract will be on food. Food. Yvonne is there. Hello, Carol. How are you? And Yvonne knows, because you see, when you're a parent, one of the things you get a lot of support from is maybe your friends. Your friends may give you advice. You know, I talk to my friends a lot. I talk to professional people a lot, other coaches, trainers, because it's all about learning. And speaking with other parents who may have teenagers, boys, because, you know, I have one daughter, one son, and it is all new. And he's 6'3". He's going through his growth period. But boy, I'm like, we need to have another contract. But that contract end will be for a longer duration of time. So it'd be us sitting down and discussing, you know, when the shopping comes in the house, it doesn't need to go in 24-hour periods. Are you having this same issue with your children or young people in the house where they see it and eat it? I was advised to hide the food, like hide the snacks, leave them in the car, or find a cupboard. But well, can't say he can't reach it because he's tall. So that will be my next step, and I will let you know how that goes. And as my good friend Trisha had mentioned about behavioural contract, I will also touch on that as well. Usually on a Friday, Michelle and I would deliver parenting, and from since this pandemic started, people have been asking, "Are you doing a parenting course? Are you doing a parenting course? Are you doing a parenting course?" And the answer is no, I wasn't doing one because we generally deliver it in schools. So we're having to change it up. We're having to do things online and transfer it over. So the Race Equality did email to say they will be putting out a shorter online version for the parents, of which I will be facilitating. But because this is my page, I thought I've got lots of you on here that we've been discussing. You message me in my messenger box, you WhatsApp me, you contact me through email and through my website. I thought, why don't I just do the live? And this is why I'm thankful very much to Yvonne, who has helped me to implement that. So thank you, sweetie, on that. So do I have any questions? A fantastic achievement and positive experience for you and your son. He will always remember that experience. And Sharon, believe you me, I will also be remembering that experience. I felt such a sense of an achievement, but it wasn't like I'd done it on my own. It was that I worked together with my son. And many parents may experience challenges, especially with teenagers, because their attitude changes, their peer groups are there and they seem to cling more to them. But that is part of their age and stage of development. And sometimes, as parents, well, for me, I sometimes think, oh, I wish I could just spend a little bit more time. And this is just the perfect time. He's not at school, I'm not at work, we're both at home together, and we're getting lots of things done. So, what I would like to ask you is, what year are your children, a young person or young people in your home? Mine is 16, so they are in year 11. So, the ending, as we know, was very abrupt, but it comes with lots of different emotions. I've watched my son study, revise, work really hard over the last 5 years. And what he did say to me was that he was just a little bit disappointed. And with his emotions and how he was feeling at the very beginning, I needed to really check in on him, talk with him, and see how he was doing, because things change. As the adult in the household, I had to let him know no one don't know what's going on. Yes, it's uncertain, but this is the opportunity for us to create what goes on in this house and how we cope with it. So, how has it been for you? Has your time been where it's been blissful, peaceful? Because if one can testify to this, it's not peaceful where I am, because I live in an area with lots of young children, and there is lots of noise, there's lots of screaming, and it's quiet. Can't hear anything. So I particularly don't want to be doing these lives on a Friday late in the evening, but I'm gonna ask you, what are the best times? Morning, afternoon, or evening? If you pop that in the comments, then I will respond to that. Let's see what else we've got here. Yes, I know about this subject and having to make food last. That's from Yvonne Michelle. And yes, thank you for all your help, support, and encouragement, suggestions, and ideas. And this is what I love about the parenting groups, because we get to learn from one another. Like, this is the first time for me, so I'm like thinking, I didn't have it with my daughter. So when I'm saying it's the first time, I did not, it's two different things, two different children, two different characteristics, two different personalities. But during this time, it's just me and my son. My daughter is living independently. So what is Carol saying? I'm good. Thank you, Ruth. A lot has gone on, but is that coping? How are you? Yes, Carol, I'm doing really, really well. And getting through this like everyone else, but being a bit more positive. I don't know what's going to happen with the schools. Don't know what's going to be happening on the 1st of June. Like everyone else, I will hear it on the news like you do. But I find that when things go off on the news relating to children, to schools, I always get messages. So this might be a better way for me to comment. So we also have, well done, guys. Thank you, Carol. How do I encourage my teenage daughter to leave her bedroom and socialize with me more? She is 13 years old. Thank you, Sharon, for that question. So I would suggest coming up with a plan. It may not be like a family contract, but you can create a family plan and have days. So one of the things in the Strengthen Families, Strengthen Communities, parenting components is special time. So this is where you can get the opportunity to arrange a date and time. It's like having a date with a child, but it's a date and time with your child that you commit to spending quality time. Now, being that your daughter's a teenager, she might like to interact on social media platforms a lot more with her friends. So you could either join in terms of not with her friend, but something that you two do together. So I've seen families doing the TikTok. Don't know if you have that app, but if that is something that interests your daughter, or there's that other singing one, those types of things, whatever is of interest to your child that they are willing and happy for you to get involved with, put that one as a first. You could do things like spending special time doing gardening, reading a book, watching favourite movies in the house because we can't go anywhere. Set a time or create a lovely meal together and just have conversations. And I'd structure the dialogue around feelings, how they're doing, how their week's been, how they're actually coping inwardly with the pandemic, and what have their friends said about it, because the young people are having their own opinions on this, and I would like you to ask them and feed that back to me. There's lots and lots of different news going around to the point I've kind of switched off. But Sharon, my advice would be create a little plan of having some special time. It could be once a week, once every other week, depending if you've got co-parenting, like if your child's away and then they're living with you, whichever the case may be. Set it for the date and time that you know they're going to be with you in your care. It could be during the week, an evening, and just for a couple of hours. But you know that if it's a Friday night or a Wednesday night between 7 and 9, you know that's your time. So for anyone who's done the parenting course, how has your special time been when you've implemented it? And encourage Sharon so she knows how you got on. I hope that helped. So we said, well, she's already said she won't do TikTok with me. Oh, okay. So then find something else. Ask her what she would be willing to do and share with you. And it could be creating art, getting some big paper and creating. Because if you've done tasks like sorted out their bedroom, created a nice space and environment, that may not be the place you want to hang out. It could be like your living room, your back room, your garden. Because we are limited to our homes, there's not really much things you could do going out at this time. Sharing ice cream, a bit of cake. And Sharon, because I know you, I know how you love them apple crumble. So it could be like doing that together, making it, baking it, playing a game. If they're into playing video games or online games, it could be doing that. One game that I have come across is Uno Online. And another app that I set up with my children was House Party. Because my daughter lives in the other side of where we are, it's a way that we can communicate. We do the FaceTimes and everything, but when you're in the same household, I would be exploring. Start by exploring avenues that she would like to take with you, but express to her that you would like to build or continue, building stronger relationships, that you would really like to get to know who she is now as a teenager. Because as we all grow, we all develop and we change, and you like to be a part of those changes. If they're easy to come to you about situations that they're finding challenging at school or with friends, or someone said this, oh, look at what they showed me, that type of thing, then use that type of conversation to then add mum or child, or this is what I would like to do, and also be open for them to come to you with suggestions as well. So I hope that helped. We've been dancing together a lot. So that's really good, Trisha. And thank you also for mentioning the behavioural contracts as well, because that's when you want to see improvements in the behaviour and then give rewards. But I would like to know also, before I go, because I don't know what the time is, this is just literally an introduction. Tell me what time you would like this to be. It's a Friday. Friday is my parenting day, always has been from April to July, and there are no exceptions, even regardless whether we're in school or not. I feel it's important that we get help and support, and you can help me. There may be suggestions. The amount of things that I've learned from parents across the globe, and it's only to kind of realize that a lot of the times we have similar interests, things are very much the same. Yes, the culture may be different, but there's a lot of things that we do the same. And discipline is also another factor that we'll be covering in a few weeks' time. So if you could share this and let other people know that if they have any parenting issues, things that would like to discuss. Oh, so I've had a suggestion of 8:30 for these lives. So if it would be 8:30, it would probably finish between 9 and 9:30. Depends on how the discussions are going. But at least we'll be able to post comments, whether I'm on the live or you're watching it on the replay. Just put hashtag replay, and then I can come back to your questions. So, has this been of use to you? Has this helped? Thank you for reading the blog. If you haven't read the blog, it's in the post, which I did about an hour or so ago. I spent all day on it. Elaine would be so impressed with me because, yes, but thank you. So like the time, but it clashes with bedtime for me. So, right. So then let me know. Pop that in because generally when I do this in schools, I start between 9 and 12, but I'm not going to be on here for 3 hours because I'm only going to be taking some tips. Like next week, I'm going to share with you my favorite method. And Michelle, every time we deliver this, I always laugh. I laugh before. Carol might even be able to tell you what it is, but it is a first and then method. That is my top, top tool. That once I came across it, I held on, I cling to it and use it first and then method. I'm gonna go through with it with you. I'm gonna share that one with you. If there are other like parts you would like me to go over, I'm be happy to do that. But I thought I'd just take little tips, little nuggets, and answer your questions at the same time. So if anything happens or suggestions over the weekend or next week before Friday. Anyway, message in regards to the lives that I will be hosting here. It has been great. It's been fun. I have started this broadcast. I have no idea how to end it, but I'm sure I will end very, very shortly. But if you've got anything else to say, oh, thank you, Carol, for loving this. If there's anything else you want to quickly pop on and say, like I've said at the bottom, we are just basically here to support, give advice, go through the components and help because they've identified a lot of families at this time who are needing parenting support. I understand it's frustrating, especially when you're just in the four corners of your home and things have lifted a little bit. People seem to be up and out and about quite a lot. So I hope that's managing for you. And for those of you who are shielding and unable to get out, as suggested by the government and medical professionals, I just hope that you're keeping well in your mind, your body, your spirit, and that you're finding things to do. Tomorrow, I believe, Luton Carnival is doing Carnival online. And if you know about it, great. I'm going to check in there. If you don't know about it, I will post the link that I got in a post so that you'll be able to attend. I'm sure it's in the evening. You can dress up and stuff. I'm sure they're going to have fantastic DJs. Trisha let me know that it was really, really good last year. I completely missed it because a part of me thinks that I was there, but I can't tell you now because every day is molding into one. This is saying, Carol is saying, yes, the Strengthening Family book has come in handy in some sort, but not always. So, for the facts where it hasn't come in always, share with me what they are. You can message me on my page. So, if you don't feel comfortable or confident to message your particular dilemma in this feed, you can always email me some of your questions. And for example, Carol has contact me through Messenger when she's had some real challenging moments with her little one's behavior. I feel like I've known him since he was a baby. Now he's grown into a big boy in school. It's all what we can do to help with suggestions. Some of us have children or even adults now, but we've had the experience of raising children. And sometimes there are people out there with fantastic ideas that could help, and you could have something that could help someone else. So I want us to use this platform as a sharing, learning tool. So I would like to thank you all for coming on. I'll keep it nice and short and sweet. And thank you so much for your engagement. Take care, God bless, and have a fantastic weekend. Lots of love to you all, and look after yourself and your family.